They were all found the same way. Young women looking pale and cold, their lifeless bodies marked by two identical punctures on the neck. No one ever saw a snake, yet each death whispered of fangs in the dark and a charm deadlier than venom. In the quiet hills of the Ilesha kingdom lay Irunmola village, a small, close-knit community where everyone knew each other and secrets rarely stayed hidden for long. Life was simple. The people engaged in farming, fetching water, trading, and gathering in the evenings to share stories around the fire. But peace had been broken. For months now, young women had been found dead, their skin pale and their body lifeless, with two strange bite marks on their necks. Fear gripped the villagers like a vice. No one could explain what was happening. The marks looked like snake bites, but no one ever saw a snake. It was as if death came in secret, unseen and unstoppable. Chief Ola, the village leader, sent hunters deep into the bush to find the serpent, but they returned empty-handed. The deaths continued. Mothers warned their daughters not to go out at night. Even in daylight, women felt uneasy, and they often walked in groups. Trust had faded, and suspicion crept through the village like mist. But among the fear, there was one man who seemed untouched by it all. Femi, the village's most handsome and charming man. He was tall, handsome, and muscular, with smooth brown skin and eyes that gleamed with mystery. Femi was kind and friendly to everyone. He would play with the kids and even offer to help the elderly with their chores. And he had a way with words that made hearts flutter. Women would giggle and blush when he passed, unable to resist his smile. He knew how to use his charm. He didn't rush. He played his game slowly, drawing women in with sweet words, soft touches, and promises of love. And once he had them, he would take them to his hut at the edge of the village. There, under the moonlight, Femi would ask them a strange question. Do you know the difference between a man's manhood and a snake? They would laugh, thinking it a joke. But before they could answer, Femi would whistle a soft, eerie sound that filled the room. From the folds of his trousers, a dark, deadly snake would slither out. Before they could scream, the serpent would coil around them, then strike two sharp fangs sinking into their neck. Within minutes, they were gone. By morning, another body would be found in the village square looking pale and cold. The villagers mourned, but no one suspected Femi. He was too charming, too kind, too perfect. He walked among them with confidence, unaware that his days were numbered. Then came Kumbi. She arrived quietly, visiting her aunt on the edge of the village. She was tall, graceful, and composed. Kumbi carried herself with a calm strength that set her apart. She didn't giggle when Femi passed. She didn't blush. She barely even looked at him. This intrigued Femi because he wasn't used to being ignored. From the moment he saw her at the well, Femi was determined to win her over. He followed her. He offered help. He smiled, he whispered, he charmed. But Kumbi remained distant. Her politeness never turned into affection. She spoke kindly, but she kept her distance, and this only made Femi want her more. One evening, he decided to make his move. He waited near her aunt's farm and intercepted her on the path home. "Kumbi," he said smoothly, stepping in front of her. "You've been avoiding me." "I haven't," she replied calmly. "I've just been busy." Femi smiled, stepping closer. "You're always so serious. Why don't we walk together? Get to know each other better?" Kumbi studied him for a long moment, then shook her head. "Not interested, Femi?" It was the first time anyone had said no to him like that. His pride was bruised. His obsession grew. So he changed tactics. He stopped chasing her. He became quiet and distant. And when Kumbi noticed the change, curiosity got the better of her. One evening, she approached him as he sat outside his hut. "You've been quiet lately," she remarked. Femi nodded. "Just needed some space." That night, they took a walk. Femi kept the conversation light, gentle. Kumbi's guard began to lower. Days passed. Slowly, she let him in. She laughed at his jokes. She met him in private. And Femi believed he'd finally won her over. At sunset one evening, he invited her to his hut. Inside, the oil lamp flickered. Femi poured palm wine. They talked. He moved closer. Then, leaning in, he whispered, "Do you know the difference between a man's manhood and a snake?" Kumbi's brow furrowed. Before she could respond, Femi whistled. From the shadows, the snake emerged sleek, black, and deadly. It coiled toward her, ready to strike. But this time, something was different. With calm precision, Kumbi reached into her wrapper and pulled out a small silver flute. She blew once, twice, and the piercing note cut through the air. The snake froze. Its eyes locked onto Kumbi, not Femi. It turned and coiled around him instead. Femi stumbled back, eyes wide with fear. For the first time, the hunter was the prey. "How?" he gasped. Kumbi's voice was steady. "You're not the only one who knows how to control a snake. It's time you paid for your sins. Remember Tola?" Femi's face paled. Tola, the girl whose name he never thought anyone would remember. The snake struck. Within moments, Femi was still. By morning, his body lay in the village square beside him, the severed head of the serpent. Kumbi stood before the stunned crowd. "I am not just an ordinary visitor," she said. "I am Princess Kumbi, daughter of the Oduro throne. I came to Irunmola to avenge my sister, Princess Tola, murdered by this man, whose beauty hid a monster." She told them everything, how Tola had fallen for Femi's charm, how she had whispered to her sister about a mysterious lover who made her feel cherished, how she died with those same strange marks on her neck, and how Kumbi had sought the oracle in their kingdom, who revealed the truth, a man with a serpent soul, using dark charm to seduce and kill. Kumbi trained for months, and with the sacred flute, learning to break the bond between serpent and master to turn the beast back on him. The villagers listened in stunned silence. They had adored Femi, but now they saw the truth. Years passed. The tale of Femi and the serpent became legend. Mothers warned their daughters about men who hide monsters behind charm and smiles. Kumbi's name was spoken with reverence across the Elisha lands. Her bravery honored, her story passed down like a sacred tale, and Femi, he was forgotten and buried beneath the weight of his crimes.